Hey, everybody, we're back live. We missed last week. I was feeling a little under the weather, so we didn't do it. But we're back to talk about the books that came out. What date was that? That was on February 19th.
February 19th.
I'd look at my calendar. So these books came out last Wednesday. First time catch a show. What we do is we pick up the books for the week. We give them a read. We blast the books we hate. We stash the books we love. But before we get into it, let's talk a little bit about some housekeeping stuff. You can go over to Patreon and check out like this. This is a cool book we're giving away tonight to our Patreons. The Vampirella Dave Stevens cover. That's a pretty damn hot book. We can also go over to Teespring. A link's down below in the chat stuff. You get this cool little Blast It or Stash It shirt. You know, you can wear this around to the con, say support us that way. Or you can just give it a share, which is always appreciated. So let's go ahead and get jumping into the books this week. Joe, do you want to start us off tonight? Since I felt like I started off last time with all the hotel mess we had to deal with.
Yeah, let's start it off with Wolverine's back. And I got this beautiful 2-per-store variant. And I think I'm going to stop buying these because all it is the main cover slightly faded down in this corner. And really, I'm just spending extra money for just that, which is ridiculous. Yeah. But overall, there is something that warms my heart whenever Wolverine battles vampires. I don't know why. It just makes sense to me, and I like it. And I really like this. This is a hard stash for me. I like the whole play off of St. Julian. Is that his name? Yeah. St. Julian, the patron saint of innkeepers, boatmen, and travelers. They kind of tell his story in here a little bit, but they don't give you the ending. So, of course, I looked it up. I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's actually a pretty good ending. We got Omega Red. He shows up to Krakoa, and Wolverine's not having that mess. But, things are things, and things are different in Krakoa because everybody's in a utopia and in love and peaceful. And Wolverine travels back to France where he starts slicing and dicing in the catacombs of Paris. We meet a new character who's part of some Catholic order that's all about slicing and dicing vampires as well. And we see Dracula in here. And they're after Wolverine's blood. It's very important. Wolverine's blood's always important in every comic book story almost, but this was definitely a stash. I loved Wolverine #1. I think this is a lot better than the last boot that we had with Wolverine with the hot claws mess and blah. Although they are doing the amnesia thing again, and that's just boring. But the rest of the story is good, and I like it. So definitely a stash for me.
Yeah, when I first saw this $8 cover price, I was like, oh, God, seriously. But it has a lot of story to it, and they're both really, really good stories. So I'm happy to pay the $8 for it. The art in both stories is amazing. I love the art. We got, I think, Kubert in the first story, and it's, oh, my gosh, Bogdanovic in the second. If I pronounced that correctly. But, yeah, both these stories were great. The first story, had to deal with the father, that DEA agent, trying to find the flower cartel because he kind of needs the flowers for his daughter because his daughter has cancer. And so he has that kind of story playing in there. And then that second story, like you were talking about, is that the vampires. But the art in both of these stories, like I said, again, is amazing. Well worth the $8, I think. I just got there were so many covers out for this. I just got the Alex Ross trade dress. There was a Virgin cover. There were so many different covers for this. But I can't say much more about what an awesome book. And this is the first book that I picked up to read this week. And that's because I was super excited about it. And it did not disappoint at all. That is for sure. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Now, I don't know what they're going to do going forward because they've got two different storylines going on. Are they going to continue that storyline, both storylines? Are they going to jump back and forth? Or is it what we're going to do going forward? Hopefully, the rest of them aren't $8 a piece. That's my hope. But still, well worth it. Definite stash for me.
Definitely.
Oh, I'm going to talk about a book I know you didn't pick up. The Plunge by DC, another Joe Hill comic. This was when I first read this book. I read it this morning, and I was sitting in the living room, and I started to bust up laughing because there's a whole bunch big tidal waves coming through, the whole bunch of squid, huge giant squid on the beach. There's a whole bunch of weird things going on with the biology of the water. These worm things are eating each other. There's a ship has shown up that disappeared in 1983. They thought all souls were lost on the ship, but a beacon ended up coming back on. And so now they're going to find a special salvage team to go get this ship, because the original team that was going to go doesn't want to go because they're kind of a little too scared. And the salvage team has been known to just to kind of take whatever job. What's great about this is that I love the main character of the salvage team. You know, it's a big gruff guy, big beard. I already relate to him as it is. The guy that's coming to hire the salvage team, he's like talking to him, and the leader is like, "Hey, were you here to buy a whole bunch of dildos? I got a whole bunch that I scooped up off the ocean floor. They were in a container." And he says, "I'll sell them to you for super cheap, you know, like 15 cents on the dollar or whatever." And he's holding it in his hand, you know. That line just cracked me up. Like, here he is. He's coming out of the port there, and he's got a big old dildo in his hand. It's freaking hilarious. And so they get this ragtag team. They get this scientist. They get the recovery crew. They get the guy that's going to hire them, all to go figure out what happened to the ship. Why is the beacon going off now? They thought it was lost for years. It's kind of washed up on this reef. And that's kind of how, let me see here. Spoilers, of course, as we're talking about it. They finally get to where the ship is. They decide they're going to go ahead and camp on the beach for the night just to kind of before the sunrise the next morning. And they find this, looks like a prisoner. He's wearing like an orange jumpsuit on the beach with a bloody knife in his hand. Looked like he's dead. And those worms that were eating each other are now on this prisoner. This is good. This is a stash for me. You know, all these Joe Hill books are kind of like on the fence. But this is probably, is this better than, what was the other Joe Hill book? No, Basket Full of Heads.
Yeah.
That one's good. I think this one is good too. So this is definitely a stash. And I'm surprised if Mike hasn't done his video yet, he didn't get cover B. I got cover B on that too.
With the shark. Yeah.
With the shark. Yeah.
He's ordering a week behind now. So
yeah, was he?
Oh, got it.
So the plunge is definitely, I think, a must buy, a stash for me for those Joe Hill comics for sure. Anybody in the chat? I know you popped in. We got a few people watching. Let us know what you picked up this week, or if we're talking about something. I did put a list of the books that Joe and I both did read. If you see one of those books you want us to talk about that one specifically, send us in the chat, and we'll give that one a chat up.
Definitely. So let's talk about something that we both read. Mangabed is in the room. He says, "Hello, everybody. What's going on, man?" So this one, and I really want the chat to kind of jump in on this one too and give us your opinions on this. Let's go ahead and hit up Batman number 89.
Let's do that.
Is it a $20 book? Is it legitimately a $20 book? Now, before people are like, "Oh, it's a first appearance or something," every detective comic book almost out there, if you look at Key Collector, half of them are first appearances of something or other. So it doesn't justify the price there. So why is this book so expensive for a cameo? It didn't reveal who he was. It was still a masked villain. And then there's the error print to it. And I was like, the error is not that big of a deal. Like, I hardly noticed it unless somebody pointed it out to me. And the first cameo appearance, a punchline, like, I still don't even know what that means. Like, so what? So what? So what? Now, don't get me wrong. Just, this is a good story. I like this story. I love where this is going. I love that it's just a solid Batman story now. But is it worth $20? Like, that's the question, ultimately. And I hate to say that the price actually just kind of takes away from the story in this one. What is making this book so popular and jump so high for a book that's a regular print run, just like every other Batman book? So it's not scarce, it's not rarity or anything like that. So what's the big deal?
Yeah, that misprint is on the page of the designer's reveal. Mm-hmm. That whole page is pretty much shadowed out, kind of. I'm not sure if you have that up there, if yours is that way.
Let's find out. Yeah, I saw what the misprint was, but it's not that big of a, I mean, it's like
And there's no dialogue on that page at all either.
Yeah. Should there be though?
Yeah, there's a couple. I have a copy of the misprint behind me here on my shelf. Yeah, maybe I'll go grab it here in a second. So, yeah, I pose that question to all the social media to this account. Hey, is this worth the money? Is the misprint going to hold its value? I put that out there, hoping to get some responses from people. I don't know, like there was one copy. I'm not sure if it was CGC, that misprint that sold for $700.
Yeah.
There was another one that sold for $300. I'm like, holy crap! I got a misprint. Do I want to go ahead and flip it now and sell it, or do I just want to hold off on it? So no, you don't have the misprint.
Yeah, I don't have the misprint.
But overall, like you said, I think this is a great story. We get a little more information on Mr. Teeth and Gunsmith a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But although Batman takes care of them pretty easy when they're on their own, I do like the fact that they're trying to kill all the old Batman's rogues,
Mm-hmm.
like that. And I've even had somebody ask, "Well, when Joker died?" Well, Joker died, I think, when when Catwoman and Joker were having that fight in that church, where like he got shot and he ended up dying there. So, but we all know that that's not Joker in that grave.
Right.
But overall, it's great. I think it's still good. Is it worth that much money? Is it worth that $300 for that misprint? I don't know. Just a Batman story. I was talking to my wife about that. I said, Batman's probably one of the highest printed books of DC, really. Mm-hmm. So where's the justification of charging $300 for that book? Now, I don't know how many misprinted copies came out. But I mean, it's got to be a pretty high print run though, too. I don't know if it was like a 1 for 500, the misprints, or 1 for 20. I have no clue.
Right.
Even if it was a 1 for 20, then what would it be worth? $25?
Yeah, what's justifying the price of this? Somebody tell me. It's just a misprint.
I know the cover B, the Matina cover's going for right around 30. The other cover A, was going right around 25. Mm-hmm. I said, and then that misprint's going for crazy amount of money. But overall, it's still a great story. I'm really digging where Tinian's going with this. And I'm looking forward to following through. And next week's supposed to be the full appearance of Designer. So this is even a cameo. So why are they charging us much for a cameo?
I don't know.
And didn't Punchline show up in Doomsday Clock?
See, I didn't watch I didn't read Doomsday Clock, so I couldn't tell you.
I thought she was in that alternate universe. She was Punchline and the mime guy that she was with.
Yeah.
But maybe, I don't know.
That's a crazy one, though. Okay.
Stash. So Mango Bed wants us to talk about Savage Bastards. You want to jump in on that, Joe?
Did you pick it up?
I did. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So did I. I love it. We have opposites here, right? We got a white guy and a black guy. We got the black guy is a cowboy, and he's like the epitome of a cowboy. And then the white guy, he's a bit of a dandy. He even says that he's a dandy and he's a barber, business owner. That kind of play off of two people, but they're also brothers. They have the same father, which was really cool, and different mothers. And dad wants his children back home. Why that hasn't been really released to us yet on why that is, or why they got to take them so violently, I don't know. But I thought this was really smartly written. I did not like the fact that the African American cowboy, what's his name? That doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah, I don't like the fact that he defined words in it. I found that annoying. I was like, oh my God, just yes, okay, we get that you're being a smart ass, right? But I thought that was a little annoying, but I thought this was good. I love the dialogue in it. It did seem a little forced than anything else, but it's a good story. It's a good narration. I'm excited about it. We got an immortal Scotsman who wants to basically set up his own little kingdom in Red Sands, Arizona. So yeah, I'm kind of on board with this. I'll pick some more of this up, but unfortunately, it's not going to be one of those things where I chase after it. Like, it's just got to be there, and I just got to be able to grab it.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same boat as you. I thought it was pretty good. That dandy guy, the white guy, the barber, you can see where he kind of talks about wanting to be more adventurous, but he just kind
Yeah.
of feels like he doesn't feel comfortable getting out there and being that adventurous type. I did get a little bit annoyed like you with he goes like breakfast, the one break one's fast. He was talking about that. There's some little snippets there and stuff. We do have a little backstory with their mom, or oh no, his mom, Samuel's mom, the African American. She's at the first of the book talking about being on the run constantly, and they catch up with her, and she ends up getting killed. I wish they did give a little more explanation why he was wanting it back, other than maybe being part of his bastards group, with around a little town. I don't know. But overall, it was good. The art was a little, I didn't care for the art a whole lot, but it did its job. That's what I'm trying to say. Good Lord, I'm off here 1 week and I can't talk worth damn. I could see this being like a Netflix show, almost like the Adam Sandler movie that came out with the West about all the brothers.
The Ridiculous Six.
Ridiculous Six, yeah. Of course, this has a serious tone to it. I thought that was Obama on the cover right there, but I guess it's not. But overall, it was a stash for an independent comic. Again, would I go out and look for it? Would I make sure it's ordered? No. If it was a light week, yeah, I'd probably pick it up. But overall, stash.
That was a pretty fair book.
Let's talk about one. I know you didn't care for very much, but I busted up laughing, and it's one of those books too that I don't know if I'll pick up number 2. But this is how every government should be ran, though. That's what I really think. 2 senators don't agree on a specific set of legislation. They should get on the stump, and that's what this book is here. And I just absolutely loved it, and I was busted up laughing reading it this morning, just because of the whole thing. And amazing upset: Senator Jack Hammer defeats Senator Sweet Smell Shaw. I just heard that voice the whole time when they're doing those announcements. But this means that Senator Jack Hammer, what a great name for a senator. I would vote for him, regardless of whatever side of the aisle he was on. And he hasn't won a fight, I guess, in quite some time. He was supposed to take a fall in this fight, but he decided to go ahead and, I'm going to go and kick this dude's ass. And there's a whole conspiracy thing behind everything else. Of course, being a little bit political about it. There's always somebody sneaky. This page here, dude, with that fist to the face and knocking at his eyeball.
Yeah, that was actually pretty funny.
And then he's like in Ar's face, there. But overall, it was a fun comic, I thought. Would I be picking up again? This Savage Bastards, is that what it was? Savage Bastards. I don't know if I'd look this out. I'd find this in a dollar bin and pick it up. But I just like the concept of government actually physically getting in the ring. I don't like what your legislation is pushing. I'm against it. We're gonna go fight it out, and the winner of that fight either passes the legislation or doesn't. So that was the only thing I thought was good about it. But yeah. What about you, Joe?
Yeah, it's a blast for me. and don't get me wrong, I like the idea of it, right? Like you said, them fighting it out, right? But if I look at this objectively as a story, it's a bad story. Mm-hmm. Half these characters, I don't know why they exist. They have no meaning to me whatsoever. I think they were just trying to get people to focus on this fact of people fighting over legislation and taking it to a more WWF level than anything else. But for the most part, the 2 ladies that are agents, I'm guessing, again, not explained to us. Why do they exist? We don't know, but we know they're badass. Why is the one reporter lady, why is she around? Who is she? What difference does she make? Again, she's just badass. Everybody's just badass. And I'm like, okay, so why? Like, how did we get to this? Or was this always a thing? Like, it didn't seem like a first issue to me. It was like issue number 3 or 4 at that point. There's just no real there. There's no real characters. They're just things that exist in this environment. Again, great idea. I just been blasting it on the execution, I guess, is anything.
Yeah, I thought the dialogue between those two assassins or whoever they were, those two girls who dressed up as nurses to go kill that senator who actually lost that fight to Jack Hammer.
Yeah.
And they're talking. You can tell they don't get along very good.
Mhm.
You know, there was one girl's like, "You want to get something to eat?" She goes, "I don't eat after 7." Oh, for Christ's sake! You know, you can tell that they annoy each other. That was kind of fun too. Okay, let's talk about. We'll talk about me. Let's talk about Unkillables, Deceased Unkillables #1.
Oh, yeah.
So this is part of the Deceased story that deals with like the villain side of it. You know, so it's their take on it.
Villains and D-list Batman characters.
So we get Deathstroke going to do a job. It's a whole bunch of rednecks, you know, wearing rebel flag and stuff. He's killing them as they're running out of his house. He thinks, you know, something's a little wrong. You know, I do love Deathstroke. The one guy bailed out of the house and broke his legs. He's like, he didn't see a lot of people keep trying to run after clearly shattered legs. Of course, you can't run from everything. He freaking caps him in the back of the head. But as he goes into this big house, we find out there's a whole bunch of redneck Nazi zombies. And he ends up slicing and dicing. He ends up getting infected because he's going to get a hold of the person who paid for the job saying, "Hey, dude, I need more money for this. This is ridiculous." And of course, that virus gets Deathstroke infected. But because of the regeneration factor Deathstroke has, he's able to fight it off. So he doesn't get infected. He does get a hold of his daughter, trying to save her. The only thing about Deathstroke, which I did not like, his eye patch kept changing side. Did you notice that? It was on the left-hand side or the right-hand side. Then it was on the left-hand side. Then it was back on the right-hand side. I'm like, come on, dude. You got to be a little more consistent with that. Unless they threw it on a computer and they just grabbed it and flipped it, you know. But, man, that was kind of annoying. I felt that was really crappy on DC's part not to notice that their editor or whoever is supposed to check this book before it goes out. I mean, you're one of the top 2 publishers. You should be noticing that stuff before that gets sent out to the press or print.
You should be able to pick that up. And it doesn't do it in every frame, because most of the time it says if you look at him, if you're looking at him, it would be your left and most of it. But every now and then, like when there's a fight scene, it's right there on the right too, and it's like, oh. Yeah. So that was a big downside to this. Some of the art in here was not very good either. I don't like how Red Hood's drawn. There's just a lot of it kind of shoddy. Yeah. We do have Red Hood saving Gordon, as well as I think it's Orphan. That's who's in the backseat of the Batmobile thing. But overall, I thought it was a great story. I'm definitely going to be picking up the rest of these and finishing out this miniseries, just like I did with the other Deceased titles too. So it's kind of nice having Deathstroke and Red Hood. You know, kind of the more violent of the group, kind of central characters in each one of those storylines. So I think that's kind of cool too. But definitely looking forward to more of this Unkillables. Yeah, this was good. I'm not really into the Batman or the Red Hood storyline with the Gordon and the not Batgirl character stuck in an orphanage and trying to fight it out with a bunch of kids. I am interested in the villains. I always like the villains in comic books. I got to agree with the art in here too. Like where the Creeper, right? We haven't seen the Creeper in forever, right?
Yeah.
We finally see him, and you kind of do this kind of Jolly Green Giant / Craven character. It just doesn't look right. It just looks very amateurish. It really does. And they didn't really upgrade it in any way. He's a little over comical in this, I guess. He's trying to be very much animated. I did like the fact that the code word to use the lethal devices on the Batmobile was Joe Chill, which in the original Batman lore was the person who killed Martha and Wayne. So that was kind of fitting. And that Todd actually knew what it was even better. So, yeah, for that part, it's pretty good. But I mean, they're going to have some that come back from like this artwork. I'm sorry, it's just unacceptable. And I really don't care about the Batman or the Red Hood story. It's just not interesting to me. I picked this up because I wanted to get the villain's perspective, not the rest of the 20 million Batman people out there. But look at that cover though. Ooh, so nice.
Isn't that a movie homage cover?
I think so. I didn't know they were doing it for these two. Maybe. Double S finally comes in. He says, "What up, Huey and Joey? What's going on, brother? Thanks for swinging by. What comic books did you pick up this week so we can break your heart or agree with you?"
What did you think about Jason Todd stringing up Joker in the front of the Batmobile?
I thought it was funny. Like, it made me laugh a little bit, but I was like, yeah, it's kind of unnecessary. I think you're just kind of doing a post-apocalyptic Mad Max type of thing there. And they even joked about it when they broke into the orphanage. They were like, maybe we should take the Joker off the grill.
Yeah. Maybe you're scaring the kids just a little bit. Yeah. Psychotic clown from the hood of the car. Yeah. He goes around and do that. I mean, what's he going to do with the body then? I mean, kids are going to find it.
Yeah.
Okay. You're up with your... This is Teen Plus. I'm surprised it's not like mature with the content we got in here. Go ahead.
Yeah, Double S says Batman 89 was lackluster form. I could see that. I still think it's a good story. You always get your in between, but we were arguing when we weren't arguing. We were expressing our dismay with the fact that it's a $20 comic book because of a possible maybe misprint. That's not on every comic book. It was just ridiculous. I want to talk about Bang number 1. So as we said earlier, I kind of jokingly referred this to, it kind of reminds me of 3 different, right? It's a 007 homage type of storyline. And then you have a person that wrote it, that narrates it. So you kind of get that never-ending story feel to it, right? I know that's a stretch, but okay, that the characters are alive in the story, like in Don Quixote or anything else. But there's also this kind of, I don't know, Doctor Who vibe to it too, where they went through the white spy and then they transcend over to a black spy, and then these different time frames. How can a 20-year-old remember fighting villains in the 60s and stuff like that? So basically what's going on is some novelists wrote some spy stories, and apparently they're coming true with the characters actually engaged in these various fantastical spy and espionage type stories like you would see in 007. So what's going on in this thing? I have no idea. It's weird. It's fun. But is it well written? Yeah, it is well written. It's very easy to follow the story without a whole lot of question, but you just don't understand why. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm lost a little bit in this, but regardless, I am picking up issue 2. I'm calling it a stash for right now because I still have a lot of questions, and it makes me want to read more. So that's the point, right? To get my money. So you got me for issue 2. We'll see where this goes, and if it gets stupid or weird, and it's just like, oh, that's just way too predictable, I'm going to dump it and be done with this. So for right now, I'm stashing it.
Yeah, I mean, the book opened really strong, I thought. I was like, wow, this is actually fun. The guy, the spy, very James Bond, he breaks free. He goes to have sex with the Bond girl, and she blows his head off. And it's like, okay, wait a minute. That's not the main character? Okay, now we're moving forward. The black character looks a lot like the guy who played Black Panther. That doesn't need to. I mean, if you look at his picture, he does look a lot like him. Yeah. So maybe that's what they're doing. So Matt Kent also wrote the scouting one. Just ended a few months back.
Black Badge,
yeah. So he did that one too. So I get a lot of hints from that kind of espionage, kind of spy stuff from that as well. I thought it was kind of funny with the whole typewriter thing with the multiple arms. She just kind of standing there. It's a machine almost, typing it out because he keeps hearing it. He doesn't know what it is until he busts in the room and sees the guy. It must be the author standing there talking about it. So interesting concept. I never have watched Doctor Who, but I mean I know enough about it to get the reference you're talking about having a new Doctor with kind of the same memories and stuff of the old Doctor. I don't think I'll pick up issue 2 though. That's just not me. So good enough read and kind of a fun thing to do, but just not going to be picking up issue 2. So it's a blast, but not a horrible blast. Not like I'm gonna throw it in a dark dumpster blast, but
not a shotgun, but like a 22.
Maybe. Oh, Double S said Bang was a lost / interesting book to me.
Huh.
Lost / interesting. As in like I guess I can't follow. I'm too dumb to figure that out. So, wait, he didn't like it? He lost interest in it? Or was it what's he saying there, Joe?
Maybe he's lost like the television show. It's kind of confusing and going everywhere.
Maybe
it's a reference. I'm sure he'll clarify in a second.
Yeah, I'm sure he will, because he's like, dude, these idiots that talk about these comic books and they don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
You think we would? Yeah.
I picked up Wonder Woman Dead Earth #2 this week. You didn't read that one, though, right?
No, I read good comic books.
You read the first one though, didn't you?
No.
I thought you did.
Nah.
So in that first one, just a little quick recap. Wonder Woman wakes up in the future or post-apocalyptic world, and she's trying to figure it out. She meets this village with this really evil dictator ruler. She ends up taking him down and kind of saying, hey, you don't have to live this way. You can live under nicer rule. And she's trying to get everybody over to Themyscira. Yes, Joey, hit on the head. So Huey, you could say, Huey, you're a dumbass, you're wrong. Joey, you were right. That's fine. You want to put that in there. And a little backstory on Wonder Woman when she's a little girl, training to fight and all this stuff. She's talking about her powers being too strong. She can't control them. That's why she gets the gauntlets, the bracelets, helps damper her power, and so she can control it. We talk about that a little bit. So she's saying, hey, we need to get all of these people out of this village. Just take them to my island where they can be safe. And so she ends up setting that all up. She uses the old ruler, pulls him out of jail, say, hey, I can't do this on my own. I know you can change. I want to give everybody a chance. So he's out trying to help organize all these people to follow her to her island. As they're on the trek, they come across a giant freaking monster that comes out of the ground, and they end up killing quite a few of the villagers. But Wonder Woman actually ends up taking him down by driving a Jeep off a cliff and dumping gasoline down his throat and lighting it on fire and blowing it up. So
watch this.
And there's one little smart kid that does like a little autopsy on this big monster, and he says it has, looks like a human, essentially. The organs look just like humans, the bone structure, all that stuff, but at a gargantuan scale. And so they have no clue to what's going on. They can't figure it out. They get to the place where Wonder Woman and a few of the kids are going to go over to her island to make sure everything's good, talk to him. And she gets over there and find out that place got bombed all to hell as well. So it's all falling off the hill. All the buildings are collapsed. She does run into her mom, and she finds out essentially, and her mom's a mutant too at this particular point, that the man, people outside of their island had nuked everything and essentially mutated everybody. So all those monsters that she'd been killing over on the mainland were women from her island. They got mutated. So now she has this thing about, oh my God, I've been killing my people to try to save these people. And now that's kind of twisted there. And so now she ends up leaving the group on her own. Essentially, she's riding off with Cheetah because Cheetah comes in and helps her and saves the day. And she's telling the people essentially, you shouldn't have trusted me, just like I shouldn't have trusted you because you're the one that did this to my people. And so kind of an interesting twist. I definitely like the twist on it. I don't like the cover price. What are these things? $10? $7. $7. And the art's okay. This is, I think is it art by Warren Johnson. So story and art by the same guy. And it's okay. But the story is kind of cool because it does have that twist. Like, wait, this isn't like the normal Wonder Woman story we're used to hearing, you know. So this is definitely a stash for me. I'll be picking up. I think there's 3 books in this run. So
it sounds cool, man. All right, I want to talk about this book because I really like this book, and it's actually my pick of the week. I think it's very smart. And it's Godkillers. I've never heard of I've never heard of the writer or any of these people, but oh my god, they're in the know, man. This is a good book. The artwork is dark and militaristic. If you don't know, think of all your guys that are in like a JSOC or in a elite forces unit, right? So you got a guy from MARSOC, you got a ranger, you got a paratrooper, flight surgeon, like all just the top tier. Even the Green Beret in this is a chaplain, which I thought was hilarious, right? So you got these top tiers. I mean, even a CIA operative, right? Just top tier, straight up man killers, right? And then you have this professor of mythology and folklore. So now you know where the story's pretty much taken off, right? So they go to the Philippines to fight some sort of infectious disease there. Come to find out, it's a Filipino folklore story, and I had it written down, but I lost it. But basically, it's like a demon takes you over and you turn into a monster. All right, that's the whole point of it. And they need him to kind of explain what this thing is based off of folklore and mythology. And of course, they need guns up and bullets down range, which was just awesome. The military talk on here is on point. This is good. Like, this is legitimately good. I enjoyed it. This was my pick of the week right here. It is kind of slow being issue number 1 because they kind of got to build everything up, right? But you can tell that they're really taking their time with this story, and good stuff's going to come out of here. If you, I don't know, you definitely go back to your comic book store and see if they got one of these out there. I think my comic book shop has like a handful of them left. Godkillers. Oh my God, so good, so good.
Did you read all through the blacklisted stuff in the back? There's like 4 pages. You did read that too?
Yes. Oh my God. I enjoyed the hell out of this. And it was kind of cool to see things like MARSOC, also known as Raiders, which, you know, there was a thing in the Marines where they were trying to figure out if they were going to call themselves Raiders or MARSOCs, back and forth. It was a whole thing. I loved how they added that in here. The personalities are right on point. You know, it's like, oh, you're a professor and you're hanging out with us. Like, why are you here? Type of language. I love this. This is just smart writing. Good job.
Yeah, he's going to do nothing but get them killed or getting away because he doesn't know how to fight and all that stuff. When I first saw this book solicited, I said to myself, Joe's going to like this. I just know. I read what it was about. I'm like, this is right up Joe's alley. I know that. And sure enough, it was. So yeah, this was very interesting. I do like now you get a lot of the military lingo in there. I don't, like you talking about the MARSOC or whatever that was. I'm like, I have no clue. I just know it sounds military. You know, they could be blowing smoke up my ass and I wouldn't even know any better. You know,
that's a good point. Oh, it's so good.
But yeah, and that one professor keeps saying throughout the book, I shouldn't be here. This is not what I'm supposed to be doing. I should be doing something else, not here. And you know, I've seen so many movies like that too, where they have where there's this team that have all these professionals. They have this guy that he has knowledge. He doesn't have any fighting skills really. Right. He has all the knowledge about what they're dealing with, and he's a very pivotal part in this group, even though he may not be that military guy. And so I think that plays well here. I got a hint of The Thing too, and especially the creature at the end they showed kind of reminded me of The Thing quite a bit. So it definitely was a good book. And I think I've already ordered issue 2 as well, just to follow up to it, just to see what's going to be. So this is definitely a stash for me as well. And if I have definitely more military lingo question, I'll get a hold of you in the chat.
Yeah, the waterboarding scene I was like, oh my God, that's kind of awesome.
You know, it has no problem showing terrorist as terrorists too. A lot of
Yeah.
people want to shy away. Well, we can't offend anybody because we can't show them being the bad guys, and they
Yeah.
just go, you know what, they're the bad guys. It doesn't make a difference.
Real quick in the chat, I picked up Double S says he picked up God Killers, but he hasn't read it yet. Dude, you got to jump on that book. So good. Mango Bed asked, is it like a 5-issue series? I believe so. I believe it's a 5, little mini series, and then hopefully they do something with it afterwards. Because I mean, with folklore and then military, man, you could carry that storyline on, or a crack action elite group that can be anywhere in 72 hours, and then all the mythology and stuff and folklore that's out there, man, they could be writing this thing forever. It would be awesome.
Right now, according to CLZ, it's 3 issues, but that doesn't mean anything. Yeah, so I mean, it could be 5 later on, but it's showing just 3 issues in CLZ. So,
I hope they keep it going.
because there were cover A and cover B for number 1, there was a 15 copy incentive, and then 2A, 3A, 2A and 2B, and then 3. So, okay. Yeah, Godkillers. I'll talk about this book, which was really freaking, I don't know. Oh, I bent the corner of it. Damn it. Apparently, I didn't care about it enough. I just crammed it back in the bag and didn't bother with it. Bent the corner.
That was your $1 million book right there.
It was. Now it's 50 cent pen. Oh shit! I bent the back cover too. I just screwed this up. Apparently, I did not care. I said, "What the hell was this?" And I crammed it back in the bag, not to ever open it again. But I opened it tonight just to get a refresher on. And it's Canopus. I think that's what it's called. I don't know. Canopus by Scout Comics. Girl wakes up. She's on this planet. She has no clue to who she is and why she's there. Classic amnesia thing. She's trying to figure out. She has this like Iron Man kind of system in her suit. She's talking, all of a sudden it's talking back. She's like, well, who the hell are you? And she says, oh, I'm your onboard AI. And oh, okay, well, what's this? What's this? And like nobody here. There's no life, no sentient life. And she's trying to figure out how to fix her ship so she can get off the the planet.
Uh-huh.
And this little dude pops out of the corner, and he's a little robot. Apparently that's her son, which she has no recollection of or anything like that. She's like, you can't be my son, you're a robot. But there's a lot of daddy issues in this book. So her dad was an astronaut. He took off on a mission, and he kind of knew it was he's never coming home again kind of mission. And so she has a lot of daddy issues. She falls into this pit with a whole bunch of stuffed animals, and then she finds this little stuffed animal that she remembers as a kid that I guess her dad gave her, I think, and it always kind of comforted her and helped her. And she's like, well, what the hell? Why is this here? And then a little backstory into that. And then all the stuffed animals in the pit turn into this giant stuffed animal that attacks her. Okay, whatever. She gets out of the pit, moves along, and then she's, trying to figure out why that doll, that stuffed animal was there with her. How is that like possible? And they're going to find these minerals or stuff that they need to start the ship. And then she gets attacked by these flower things with teeth. If you can see it there.
Oh my God, I'm already bored.
and then it goes to a backstory about her have this friendship with this old guy, and now he has, plants are his family and all this other stuff, and he ended up having a heart attack and dying. And she just jumps into this giant black pit at the middle of this town where the flower things were, because she heard her dad's voice, and that was the end of the story. I'm like, what the hell was this? No.
Well, at least it ended.
Well, just say, it didn't say to be continued, so.
Oh, unfortunately.
So this was a blast for me. It's so much a blast that I just crammed it in this bag and never meant to take it back out again. So now it is now a I don't know what are 2 creases? Is that a 9.4, 9.2?
I think it depends on how bad they are, isn't it? Like if you got like half the page creased.
It's on the back. You won't see it on the back, right? So, Canopus, or what the hell you want to call it, is a blast for me. The art sucked. Story was a what the hell's going on story.
Canned crap.
Yeah, you're probably better off you didn't pick that up.
Boy, I like that. Let's talk about something good then.
Okay, talk about something good, show.
Let's go with Revenge of Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Whoa. I like that cover. I didn't see that cover.
Oh, how sweet it is. So this is really cool. So you remember we got left off with Cosmic King and Ghost Rider. We know it's Frank Castle. I'm not saying Cosmic. We're just going to call him Ghost Rider just to make things simple. All right, everybody tracking? All right, they're fighting. And while they're fighting, they're giving their own little monologue and perspectives of life. And I really liked that because a lot of that can actually be found throughout various forms of philosophy, whether it be Stoicism, self-fallacy syndromes, whatever the case may be, whatever your motivations are, they're kind of expressed in this on both sides of the characters. And I really enjoyed that. The dialogue just made sense. But as it's going through, we kind of find out that Ghost Rider's kind of with his past and everything that's jacked up. The one thing he probably misses the most because he can't die, he's way overpowered, and it annoys him. So Cosmic King offers him his soul back. Somehow or another, he got it. And Frank Castle, Ghost Rider, being kind of addicted to loneliness and pain, because that's kind of his shtick, right? His kids and everything died, so now he feels he needs to punish himself, and by punishing other people as well. So now he gets to do that. Of course, he wants his soul back, but now, of course, being just a regular human being, can he fight off the Cosmic King when he could barely do it as the Cosmic Ghost Rider, right? Confused yet? Don't worry. Read this book. It is so brilliantly written. It was like, oh, wow, that makes sense. And I was getting kind of worried about this because the last two issues were kind of, I'm trying to redeem myself by protecting you type storyline. But in this, we actually get a good look at Frank Castle as what he's turned into over the years. And then this Cosmic King cat, he's kind of, he's not wrong. Like, he's not wrong. He's just, there's no good guy or bad guy in this. There's just two people with very different opinions. And they're both tired of each other, so they're just going to battle it out. And it was awesome. I have enjoyed this. So good.
Yeah, I like how they touch back to his time when his family got assassinated. It jumped back to Vietnam. He talked about that. Jumped back to when he first became Punisher. And jumped back to all those pivotal points in Frank Castle's life up to, being Cosmic Ghost Rider. Anytime I could see Punisher in the original black and white uniform, I'm all about that, dude. I love that Punisher. I was talking to somebody that's not a comic book character. They know the Punisher. I'm like, oh yeah, the Punisher originally had like white boots and white gloves. They're like, what? That's weird looking. I said, no, that's like the best Punisher for me. I love that look. But yeah, so that girl he was trying to save almost is non-existent in this book. I think maybe they see a couple panels and that's it. And it's all about Frank essentially, he flips out, yells at him, yeah, tell me something I don't know. He's freaking out, yelling and screaming. And when he's able to offer his soul back up to him, he takes it, which
hesitation. Zero hesitation.
Yeah. So that if that's the case, why did he take on the Cosmic Ghost Rider persona? I know they talked about it in the other book. Can you refresh me on that yet, Joe?
So he's in Valhalla, and all he is supposed to be a place where all the Vikings are just drinking and having a good time, but all he's doing is causing fights. And Odin is like, okay, that's it. The only thing that's truly going to make you happy is being this. So he made him the Cosmic Ghost Rider at that point in that storyline.
Okay. So it wasn't by his choice, really. He was trying to
sort of by the way he was acting.
Yeah. Okay, but I mean, he could have spent his days out in Valhalla, but he wanted to do more, wanted to cause problems. Overall, this is still pretty good. I think it's as good as Kate's run on Cosmic Ghost Rider, but still, it's good, and I'll pick up the miniseries for sure.
So good.
757 people watching. Let us know. What do you thought? I don't see the chat moving very much. I don't know if it's on my end or your or my phone or what, but I don't see the chat. Maybe if you read these books, let us know what you thought, blast or stash for each of them.
What are your opinions? Not just about us. But
yeah, not just about us. We want to know what you thought about it too. Goon number 8. This it doesn't come out consistently. Of course, it's a small publisher, so it's whatever they can get it out. We find out who the big bad is. That's controlling the Dapper, and it's the boy with the duck. Now, I watched your video earlier. You said he was like in a whole bunch of other panels. Maybe I just overlooked him, and maybe that's the humor of it. Is you always overlook him.
Yeah,
he's the character in the back. You don't think it's going to be a problem, but he turned out to be the big bad that knows duck fu, karate, or whatever. Is able to kick Goon's ass pretty dang well until Goon grabs the duck and chucks it in the furnace, which I thought was funny. I love the part when the monkey got thrown in the furnace as well.
Yeah,
and the kids were, holy spit! That's a tough monkey. Yeah, somebody grab a hose and a banana. Those little lines. We talked about this book before, talking about how it has that lingo of like the 1940s.
It has that
kind of stuff.
Urban 1940s lingo. Yeah, it's great.
And the kids, that group of kids, which they're going to have their own book coming out pretty soon. That group of kids, with somebody get a banana, somebody get a hose, somebody get a hose and a banana. That whole lingo is great, and it's well consistent throughout the whole book too. Because in the last issue or two, Goon was being held like he was guilty from kidnapping the baby.
Yeah, he was trying to figure it out,
but now he's vindicated. He got the baby back to the parents, and so he's not the bad guy anymore. And we do find out that Thrill Magilla or Magilla Gorilla or whatever you want to call him, Dapper Dan, is now a sideshow Ape Man or Magna Man. But overall, I said the guy that does the art in this can copy Eric Powell very, very well, and it follows his drawing very nicely, and the story's great too. So,
yeah, I loved it, especially that where he turns around to find out who the big mastermind is, and there it is, some slow-witted kid with a duck in his hand.
Yeah.
That was awesome. So yeah, he's been featured in little bits and pieces throughout the run thus far. Almost every issue. I can't confirm that, but I do know the first 3 he was in a panel, and a few other ones, because I was like, what's up with the reject kid walking around with a stuffed animal, right? Like who is he? So there he is. He's the big mastermind behind it. Goon makes me happy when I read it. I don't know why, because it's the artwork in it fits perfectly. The macabre background to everything being kind of like depression era and just sad and dark, and then like these roughneck kids, roughneck city kids from 30s and 40s. The dialogue, again, I love the fact that the dialogue's always consistent through it. It doesn't change it up in any way. It's pretty each character has their own manner of speaking, and when you read it, it just fits. It's so great. I think it's just smartly done. Is it a silly story? Yes, it's ridiculous all day long. But a comic book should have some comedy in it. That's kind of the point. And that's why I love this, especially this one here. Definitely, I'll be checking out the kids when they break out on their own. What does that look like? I don't know if it's going to be able to carry the same weight as a Goon book, because Goon's just fun. So we'll see what they do.
Yeah, Double S said I didn't expect that at all when reading the Goon. Duck Fu, I liked it. Great read for me. And Mango said Goon is the best. Now, they were trying to make that into Goon into a movie. Did you ever see the computer animated test footage on YouTube?
Yeah.
You can find it. And I would love to see that. And I think that's what kind of got me into Goon. I saw that, and I'm like, wow, that's a cool character. And then I started looking for Goon comics. So definitely.
Yeah, and even the first volume 1 of Goon, those are hard comics to find.
Yeah.
And they're runs.
I think number 1 is right around $200 to $250.
Yeah, it's hard to find.
Yeah. Okay, you're up with your next one, Joe.
Oh, do we want to blast something or do we want to stash
I
something?
don't know. What do you want to do, man?
I don't know, man. It's so hard. Let's blast something. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and blast it. I think I've given this book enough chances. We're up to issue 4 on this. This is Legion of Superheroes. Unfortunately, I can't let it go because I have too many questions, but it's a blast this week because we finally, Superboy gets to sit down and have his orientation. And what happens in his orientation? Well, just like any social justice warrior book, you got to understand the people you work with, every little bit about their history. And guess what about their history? They're always right. They're super woke and always right. And it's garbage. It's garbage, garbage, garbage. So bad. It's garbage. And of course, he can't finish his orientation because there's another threat happening, right? So the underlining joke in this is he needs this orientation to understand everything. But at this point, it's so convoluted. We got the characters. I thought the AI that kind of introduced everything to him, that was pretty smart to be able to like just beam it right into his head. That's fine. I was kind of hoping it's the Legion of Superheroes, and they promoted the book as all these different types of heroes, right? They're all different, 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 different. I haven't seen that yet. They're all pretty much the same. I'm like, okay, where's the rough around the edges, kind of sort of anti-hero? Nope, they're all just besties, besties. And I'm just like, oh my God, like
Got to have some conflict in there.
right. So, I look at it when you have these comic books where you have like a lot of characters with different personalities, right? Immediately, G.I. Joe comes into mind.
Mm-hmm.
Old school G.I. Joe, each character had their own personality, their own way of talking. They had their own beliefs and motivations too. And it was just smartly written. I think that's one of the reasons why the G.I. Joe, even the newer G.I. Joe stuff, but the good G.I. Joe stuff, not the weird one. The good G.I. Joe stuff. That's why that stuff reads so well because you can actually see these people. But in this, you have all these brilliantly colorful characters, and they all talk the same. They're the same character. It's the same person over and over again. And it's just like, bleh. That's why I was so excited when they introduced Robin into this, and then they sent him back quickly. And I was like, that a sarcastic character, that would be something different. I would have got on board with that. But nope, you let me down. And this issue is no better. So we're just learning the past history of 3 of the characters in here, and it's 3 of the characters that nobody really cares about, nor did we ask for. So thank you.
I don't think I read anything else. I'll talk about this book. I didn't read it. I swore that I said, hey, I don't want to pull this anymore, but because of how it comes out, kind of like the Goon, it's like, okay, every 3 months we'll put an issue out, or every 2 months we'll put an issue out. I'm like, do I want to drop it? I don't want to anymore. I saw it in my pull list this week, and I said I thought I dropped that. And like, you did, but you did order this issue because you ordered it freaking 6 months ago. So that's Rags number 6. Here's a very unfortunate thing here. I'm gonna go big screen here. So those are supposed to be bootlaces right there. That's kind of odd, where those little hair things, not hair, they're bootlaces. I get that. Wouldn't an artist go, wait a minute, that looks a little hinky. I see, Joe, you're almost covering your eyes there. What do you think about that art? You think they should do that? They should go, wait a minute, maybe I should just not put any bootlaces down there and just make it all kind of solid shaded.
Looks like old Bird's kitty cat swallowed an octopus.
So I can't believe they did that and not let that get through. I'll tell you what, my cover of the week, though, I didn't even read it. I never do read this book. I just get it for the covers. It's my Elvira.
Dear Elvira.
My Elvira. Papa, Mau. What else did I pick up this week? A couple of dollar books, the True Believers and the DC. I did pick up. I know you got a couple more that you read that I didn't get a chance to read, and that's Fantastic Four Marauders. You want to talk about those real quick? Do a quick review on those, or you just want to go
we
to
can talk about these real quick. I'll just do a lightning round with a quick overview.
Okay.
All right. So Fantastic Four, we're on a planet full of isolationists that cause the Fantastic Four to get their powers because they like to screw around with nature, and they're really objectivists as well. So what does that mean at the end of the day? It means Reed Richards and the Overseer fight, and then they realized, hey, we can do things together and make magic happen. So they make magic happen. Luckily, we get a quick story about Wyatt Wingfoot. I always have to be very careful when I say that, otherwise I slur it. If you don't know, he's from Fantastic Four number 50 in 1966. That was his first appearance. He's a Native American superhero that hangs out with the Fantastic Four occasionally. It was really cool seeing him in comic books. I think sometimes we forget that there are other people that work with the Fantastic Four out there. It was really cool. And it looks like we're going to have a Mole Man story coming up, which is cool because as cheesy as Mole Man and as mole people are, that's fun. So that's going to be taking place now. And now we're off of that stupid planet with those stupid people. So that's better. Marauders. All right. Other than Storm and Emma doing a little slap and hug scene in here, which I'll be honest with you, it's kind of hot. Other than that, this book's starting to really sink for me. For some reason, that dumb dragon's still alive. Kitty Pryde, or Kitty, whatever. They recover her body. Iceman goes on a rampage and literally freezes people's legs and breaks them off. Bad. A bunch of other stuff happens in here that nobody really cares about. And Bishop is really starting to kind of second guess his whole spot in this Marauder outfit. Not that anybody cares what Bishop thinks. Moving on, Guardians of the Galaxy, issue number 2. This was actually pretty good. I'm enjoying this so far. So Peter Quill and Rocket Raccoon kind of have a makeshift team together, and they blow up Mount Olympus because Zeus and all of his siblings are acting up, right? They're acting a fool through the universe. You know, they want to destroy everything, lights out. So they take a black hole bomb to create a decaying vacuum. Apparently, they don't know what the word vacuum means, but okay, we'll go with you. They blow it all up. Unfortunately, Marvel Boy made it out in time. He didn't get destroyed, so we still got to deal with that crock. But hey, it is what it is. You got to take the good with the bad.
Is Marvel Boy the one he has his pronouns?
Yeah. You know,
oh, okay.
Him and his. Yeah, right. Okay. Masters of the Universe finally takes us to the Masters of the Universe that we all know, the He-Man from the show from the early 80s. And it was actually kind of funny because they kind of did a dig on it. They were like, yeah, in this universe, it seems like they're always giving each other advice. Like a PSA announcement.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of did something like that.
From the cartoon.
Yeah. They kind of made fun of it, which was great. In here, we see that Kandor, who is Skeletor, and that's confirmed in here. He's some version of Skeletor. He gets half of his face blown off. And what does that mean for him? Is he automatically going to be evil? Are you destined to be evil? And if you are destined to be evil, does that mean everything in the multiverse that is you, is that destined to be evil? They're diving into that very complicated topic in a very simplistic way here. And I actually enjoyed this one. I actually recognized this He-Man. It was a fun read. It's okay. Blast for Undiscovered Country. I hate it when people take shortcuts in writing. And here's how you take a shortcut. You get all the way up to issue 4. Your heroes get captured, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the quietest of all your heroes in the team all of a sudden already had everything figured out, and explains why. Out of nowhere. Because she's good with the computers and the science.
She didn't bother to say anything why earlier.
No, not at any point. But she knew it the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I hate it when they overuse a MacGuffin, right? A MacGuffin is a device that just magically does whatever you need it to do. Well, her drone in here, apparently, if it shines a light at the shackles, it can dissolve the shackles. Why doesn't it dissolve the people?
Maybe it only does it to certain metals.
Yeah, right. Okay, so, yeah, that's a blast. And I probably won't be picking that up anymore. Dr. Tomorrow, what if your past What if your future parallel universe self met your child past? Did that make sense? That's about where this book is. It's garbage.
Is that a Valiant book?
Yeah. And last but not least, Middle West still proves to be a good one. They're doing a whole little Hogan's Heroes thing in here where they're all plotting their escape and getting everything together and getting all their information together and tallying up when people run their shifts and stuff like that so they can try to escape from the energy farm. And the old folks are trying to cross a river and they need the help of a guy that's in a coma. So she jumps into his head, which I don't remember them saying that that was a power of hers. And you would think us being 15 issues in, we would have gotten a hint about this. But old lady finds out the secret of talking to fish and gets the fish to cross them. So that was stupid. But I still like all the kids locked up in the labor camp there and kind of working together. That is fun, and it's still a good book, regardless of what I say. And in the chat, real quick, I stopped reading Young Justice after issue 1. Bendis is just messing up continuity in DC, and people wonder why AT&T is pulling the DC plug. Yes, you're right there. 5G revamp doesn't go well, and Mendigo Bed thought that was funny. So yes, I would agree with that. That's
Yeah. With that revamp, so when Rebirth happened, I mean, DC shot up. I'm sure it's going to shoot up just at the beginning of this 5G or whatever it was. I just really heard about this the other day. So apparently I'm not much in the know when it comes to comics like that. So I'm looking into a little bit more to see what they're supposed to be doing. Are they going to renumber everything? What's their plan on that? I have no clue.
I don't know either.
Go back to that Middle West. Does he have like a power dampener on him or something? This way he can't like turn into the storm?
No, he's not doing that because the energy farm that there are in all these plants, if they fall or drop, it creates this toxic gas that actually is like an acid gas.
Oh,
So if
okay.
he loses control there, he pretty much just kills everybody.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was trying to figure out, well, let's turn it into a freaking storm and just get out of there.
Yeah, but we think Dad's on the way because the older people, they're stuck in a continuous storm that's lasted 3 days now, and that's been mentioned. And nobody knows where this storm came from. So it could be the dad kind of going the same direction as everybody else.
Damn boomers. Boomers. Sorry. My daughter called me a boomer the other day. My daughter also told me to shut my mouth hole, so I don't know what yeah. She got mad. She got upset at me. Books, Red Mother #3. I got to read that one. That's been good. I said I haven't read that one yet. Teen Titans #39. Fantastic Four #19. Haven't read that one yet either. I'll probably read these before the week's out. And Marauders, I was on the verge of dropping from last issue. It's not on my pull list from here forward anyhow. I'll probably give this one a read, and it'll probably be it for me for Marauders, unless something else truly amazing happens, which I don't see it happening. And apparently I got American Jesus #3. I didn't even pick up issue 2. So I maybe I just didn't order it or what that was. So yeah, so those are my books this week. We do need to give away that Vampirella cover. Let me go ahead and pop this one right here.
Oh yeah, let's do that. Let's give something away.
There's the Vampirella cover right there. So what we do have, let me go to my screen share. Where is it? I'm a professional. John's Comic Kids, Pocan Joe chilling on the couch. Yes, he is. Application window. So we go to random.org. Can you see that right now? Let me get rid of that Vampirella. So there we go. We have the names of our patrons. We have 6 patrons in there. And we're going to go to that page myself so I can actually see it bigger. So give me a number between 1 and 5, Joe.
7.
That's not between 1 and 5. Learn your math.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go with 5.
5. Okay. 1. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Caffeinated Geek. I gotta get that out to him. I have his address already, so I'll get that Dave Stevens cover out to you. Thank you again. as well as all of our patrons from over there, Patreon, for supporting us on this channel. So we definitely appreciate that. 2 more comments up here. What are they saying?
John's Comics with Kids. He pops in. Pocan Joe chilling on the couch. Yeah, you caught me. I had to check an email real quick. And Double S thinks that's funny, and I just don't like being laughed at. It hurts my feelings.
Yeah, Joe's very sensitive. I mean, you don't see that in the air, but off air, he's crying constantly.
I bawl.
Yeah, he balls. He vents to me and cries, and I can't do this anymore. And no. Hey, if you guys are headed to this place, Emerald City Comic Con, we are headed there as well. I got my flight. We got our place booked. We're headed to Emerald City Comic Con. We are going to be there between Thursday and Saturday. I'm flying out Sunday. So is Joe. So we're there for 3 whole days. If you're going to Emerald City Comic Con, definitely look us up. We'll chit chat, grab a drink, maybe grab a meal or something, talk about comics, and just have a good time. So definitely, if you're going to be in Seattle area, go to that. Or if you even live in the Seattle area and want to hang out, grab some of this after the con. If you're not going, let us know. Get a hold of us, shoot us a message. You can shoot us a message through Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all those social medias, and we can let you know where we're going to be, what we're going to do. We plan on doing some live stuff there. I think the main thing I'm going to be doing is getting signatures, maybe digging through a few long boxes, but trying to get signatures for sure.
Yeah, I got to get some Scotty Young signatures, a couple of Funko Pops for my wife, do some dollar bin diving, see if I can't do a 30 from 30 from there. That would be awesome.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah, see if we can't do a 30 for 30 there. And there's some great strip clubs around there. Maybe we'll take the camera in. I don't know. Let's see. Well, I don't know. Let's just live the moment.
Yeah, I might not have a room. If we go live from a strip club, I might find all my stuff out in the driveway when I get back, including my Batman '89 misprint. That could be selling. That could be selling to get a deposit on a new apartment. So, don't want to be doing that. Don't want to be getting myself in any trouble when I'm out of town. As always, go check out our Patreon. Go check out our Teesprings. All that link stuff down below in the description. And get a cool shirt like this. I'm going to be wearing this at the con. So if you see this shirt walking around, hopefully I might be a little bit lighter. I've been doing some working out, been eating right, trying to get fit Huey, fit Grandpa Huey. So see that shirt walking around, say, hey, I know you guys. I've seen you. Anything else
for the cover? So I look like the picture on the shirt.
Yeah, you're going incognito. That's what you're doing. Anything else before we bounce out of here tonight for you, Joe?
Thank you for everybody stopping by. We love watching you. Please leave a comment, share, like, all that good stuff. We do appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Whether you blast it, whether Sash, happy reading, and we'll catch you guys next Sunday. Laters.